Rich Eisen Show with the top 5 overlooked make or break NFL players in the 2023 season. I have no clue what he means by overlooked make or break players, but we're going to watch, we're going to react, we're going to discuss like only I can do.
Top 5 most overlooked make or break players in the NFL this year. So there's obvious ones, right? Rodgers and Russell Wilson and all that.
Okay. I'm gonna let's remove overlooked. Make or break, I would define as this season, you got to do it, right? Like this season, you got to come through. This season, there's a lot of pressure on you. This season, if you don't swim, you will sink. Rodgers probably would be number 1 if he's removing. So I guess overlooked. That's why he's throwing that in there. Rodgers would probably be number 1. Derek Carr is way up there. Anytime a quarterback gets a big fat contract for a new team, they're going to be, it's going to be a huge make or break spot. So rookie quarterbacks can also be the same. Bryce Young, the franchise is basically on him. A lot of trade value, trade capital, draft capital went into him. So if he comes in and he flounders, flat fishes, then that's not going to be good. Let's see what Richard has to say.
They're not on this list. Jimmy G, they're not on this list because they are looked at.
Okay, I see what he's saying. I see what he's saying.
Not seeing.
Okay, I see what he's saying.
These are the trees in the forest. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Number 5 on this list is the quarterback of the Washington Commanders.
Who is that?
Sam Howell.
Oh, is it? Oh.
All right. This is interesting because certainly no one's looking at him. Who cares about the Commanders? Who cares about Sam Howell? I was kind of lukewarm on Howell in college. I mean, North Carolina, a lot of people thought he could be a top 10 type draft pick. I never really saw, but that's just me. I could be wrong. I never am. As far as this situation, he can, this season, if he does play well, he will solidify himself as the Commanders' franchise quarterback. For a franchise that is so up and down with very few ups, a team that's supposed to be getting sold, a team constantly in flux, a team that Taylor Heineke was dragging to wins for the last however many seasons, this is a great spot for a young guy to come in with relatively zero pressure because no one really expects much of him. But if he does perform well, it reminds me kind of Mac Jones, where when Mac Jones played his first year in New England, he played well. I mean, he played good. He wasn't an MVP level player, but he was above average to average. And for a second there, that solidified him as, hey, this is our franchise quarterback. So Howell, if he puts together a slightly above average, I'll say if he's a top 15 quarterback this year, then the Commanders should feel pretty comfortable moving forward with him.
Exactly. What if this kid, remember we had his college coach, Mac Brown, he's like, the reason why he's dropping in the draft is we were not very good this year.
Yeah.
And look at the weapons this guy has. Brian Robinson and Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson. Nobody's talking. This kid balls out, makes the Washington Commanders. They might even turn him back into the football team. They might even change the damn.
I wish that, sidebar, I loved the football team name. I don't know why. I feel like a lot of people liked it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about that. At first, I was like, this is crazy, the Washington football team. But the more it stuck around, the more I was like, man, I love this name. I wish they went back to the Washington football team. WFT, baby. That's so much better to me than the Commanders. I love, turn it back, sidebar. A double sidebar. We're sideception. Hellacious lighting here in this video for Rich. I'm not sure what the producers are doing. This lighting, everything is just, I've never seen something with such a film of yellow cream. I mean, nothing is correct. A light had to blow out or something right before this. I mean, this is brutal.
Team name, which you have to do. And what, Major Tutty?
Out.
Major Tutty should be peeling potatoes.
Like Stephen McBean was.
Oh, cool. Please, get out of here.
Come on.
Number 4 on this list, just to show you it's not all quarterbacks. And I don't mean to put it on this guy.
Okay.
I don't mean to put it on this guy. And, Kyle Pitts, so many people zoom in on him. as he's got to finally start balling out as a tight end. I'm not even going to go there for the Atlanta Falcons.
It's going to be BIJAN.
Bigger than this.
It's going to be BIJAN.
He was chosen at this position in a top 10 draft choice.
It's going to be BIJAN Robinson, obviously.
And this position has been devalued over and over and over again over the last few weeks. BIJAN Robinson, sir, you are balling out.
All right, so I will say, it is easy to just say quarterback, because so much responsibility and pressure and results come from the quarterback position. A running back, BIJAN could have a really good season, and the Falcons could still be bad. You know, if you look at someone, we see it all the time with running backs, where they have, like Josh Jacobs last year with the Raiders. He led the NFL in rushing. Who cares? Nobody. The Raiders, they were nothing. They were a nobody. Jarrett Stidham ended up playing quarterback. Like, who cares about the Raiders last year? No offense to Raider fans. But so BIJAN theoretically could lead the league in rushing. He could be looked at as the next LaDainian Tomlinson, and the Falcons could be a 7-win team. So is there really a break situation for BIJAN? Like, as far as a make or break type season? I don't think there is. I think with running backs, and this is why running backs get devalued, is because any running back in the NFL can do a certain thing. Like, they're all going to get you a certain amount of yards if you give them the ball enough in a system, right? Like, the old school 1,000-yard season, who cares about 1,000-yard seasons now? Virtually every running back in the NFL could have a 1,000-yard season if they're the key back, if they're the main back. What BIJAN needs to do is he needs to give Arthur Smith that LaDainian Tomlinson-esque playbook where he can catch the ball, he can run the ball. He is the key. Can he become the next Christian McCaffrey? Can he become a player like that? But I don't see a break. I like BIJAN. I think BIJAN's awesome. But in today's NFL, there's only so much a running back can do, sadly.
Not just for the Falcons and yourself, but for the running back position. Let's value.
Oh, that's interesting. So that is interesting. If BIJAN doesn't, if the Falcons do not have like a turnaround, or they're not dangerous, their offense isn't better, or BIJAN isn't as impactful, then yeah, Rich is right. This probably will be it for the idea of drafting a running back in the top, 15 picks. Certainly the top 10. It's already kind of been devalued to the point where no one does it. It takes a prospect like BIJAN. But if BIJAN, a prospect as good as BIJAN, if he comes in and it doesn't matter, then yeah, I'm with Rich. It probably does go away, and we probably do not see any more running backs in that top 10 spot.
Says the Atlanta Falcons. Let's value the running back spot by choosing 8th overall out of Texas, BIJAN Robinson. You heard Albert Breer say part of the reason why running backs are being devalued is that the blue chip prospects coming out of high school don't play this position anymore as much because they see the devaluation of the position as they get into the professional ranks. They're playing wide receiver more often.
That's not the case.
BIJAN Robinson, time for you to strike a blow. Not just for yourself and for the Falcons, but for the position at this very important juncture for the position in the NFL. That's number 4 on this list.
I like that.
Let's go back to the quarterbacks now.
Okay, let's go back. Come on.
Oh, boy.
Let's do the talk.
Caleb Williams sitting out there, right?
Cool, the GOAT.
He's going to be looming over this season.
The king.
Another thing Breer said yesterday. Breer? This was another thing he said yesterday.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about this guy because everybody thinks this team is going to stink on ice. Colt McCoy is a make or break player this year. Colt McCoy, pal, it is your time. What if this guy turns into like Rich freaking Gannon, right? What if this guy, hey, you got Marquise Brown,
right, hold on.
You got James Conner. There's still some players. There's Zach Ertz.
Wow.
Here we go. Nobody's talking about Colt McCoy. What if he balls out? And
this is one of the most shocking things I've ever read or heard or seen or whatever. Colt McCoy. I mean, it would take, imagine how good Colt McCoy would have to be. How old is Colt McCoy? Let me do a quick search of how old Colt McCoy is real quick on me iPhone. Colt McCoy, trivia for you, his first name is Daniel. Is Daniel Colt McCoy. He's 36. if Colt McCoy, if he is a Pro Bowler, if he is a like top 5 quarterback in the NFL, I don't think it'll matter. He's 36. It'll be a good story, whatever, but it will not stop the Cardinals. Well, I guess it will stop them from drafting Caleb Williams if they're good. If Colt McCoy leads them to 8, 9, 10 wins. But if he wins the MVP this year, I don't think it would matter in the grand scheme of things. Like, I think, Arizona might say, hey, we'll continue with this for another year, but this one right here is a bit of a stretch. I mean, I'm not even sure if Colt McCoy can be good enough to where when Kyler Murray's back, he's not just going to play. This Rich is in his bag right here.
And if he doesn't, then maybe it's Caleb Williams' time in Arizona, by week 6, week 7, and Colt's taking one for the team now. Or he could take the bull by the Longhorns and show everybody what he could do, finally, for a full season.
I mean, Colt was fine. He's been fine in relief appearances. But, man, talk about worst case scenario for the Cardinals is if Colt McCoy wins them like 6 games and they're just the 11th pick because they want to tank. The team is terrible. Caleb Williams is right there. Drake May is right there. If Colt McCoy has a renaissance all of a sudden at 36 years old and he leads them to 7 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins, there should be a riot in
Arizona. Let's go.
Vegas isn't even offering MVP
I'm
odds on
talking
Colt
about
McCoy.
it because he's being overlooked.
Wow.
And he's not even the most overlooked make or break player in that division. Number 2 on this list is the difference between you guys having a fantastic secondary ticket market this year in Los Angeles or you actually
Stafford
blowing up and finding out whose friggin' house it really is in Los Angeles.
Rams house.
Correct.
Rams house.
Matthew Stafford.
See, I don't think it's a break thing for Stafford because he got his Super Bowl. Stafford can never play again, and he's probably fine. If you look at Stafford, he's got the numbers. His whole career has been padding stats, and now he's got the ring. Now he's got the Lombardi. So he's done. He's done and dusted. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Stafford is mentally retired. I've said this before, where he's an injury or 2 away from just calling it a career. And it's a good career now. It's a career now where you're like, yeah, it's probably a Hall of Famer. A guy where he had a long tenure in Detroit, paid his dues there. Like I said, padded stats, went to LA, got them the Super Bowl in the new stadium, like the storybook ending. He's making a ton of money. There's no pressure on that team. The team is not supposed to be good. He's coming off of an injury at his age. There is no break. If he literally breaks and gets hurt, who cares? I know he doesn't care. He'll get that big old chunk of change and he'll probably ride off into the sunset. I mean, I don't think this one is... He is overlooked because I think people assume the Rams are going to be pretty damn bad and they're going to be irrelevant, and they are counting them out. The Rams are about to be in a big time shift. We've heard almost every player on the Rams at one point this offseason was talked about, or in the past 2 off seasons has talked about retiring. Aaron Donald, I'm pretty sure, retired. McVay, I think, retired. Jalen Ramsey's gone. Stafford's, like I said, basically retired and hurt, so he is overlooked, but there is no make or break situation for Stafford. He has already both made and he has broken in the last couple of years.
Everybody thinks he's shot, right? He's shot, and the Rams are shot.
Whoa.
He's shot, and the Rams are shot. What if he shows up and he's Matthew friggin' Stafford? Make or break, and the Rams make the playoffs, and the Rams are in a rebuilding mode. How about his money? Yeah, Sean McVay's got a bun in the oven in real life.
But what's the, like, let's say he does take him to the playoffs. Let's say they win 10, 11 games and they do go to the playoffs and they get bounced and that's it. Like, what does that really change for the Rams? Nothing. It makes them more fun to watch for their fans, I suppose, but you're still let my Mississippi hang out there. You are still dealing with an old injury-prone quarterback on the way out, a coach who's on the way out, Aaron Donald, who again can retire at any given moment. You're already trading away pieces, a la Jalen Ramsey. So I don't think it changes much. I really don't. So there is no possibility for a make, and there's no possibility for a break for the LA Rams or Matthew Stafford.
Saw that. Congratulations, Sean. And these Rams can be made or broken by that guy. Number one, though, on this list is Jordan Love.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Because, I mean, he is in the most unfairly pressure-packed situation because he's taken over for Aaron Rodgers. The Green Bay Packers, as long as I've lived pretty much, has had a very stable situation at quarterback. Brett Favre into Aaron Rodgers. They've been the picture of consistency in the NFL. They may not have won the most titles. That's certainly the Patriots. But Green Bay has been that 10, 11, 12, 13 win team, 1 seed, 2 seed, home field advantage, NFC North champions for the better part of 2 decades. You know, with a couple of good years here from the Bears and a couple of good years here from the Vikings, and and now recently the Lions are coming on, but this is certainly a make or break year because if Jordan Love comes in and sucks, he's gone. The Packers are not a team to just sit around and let Jordan Love flounder. Man, a lot of fish talk today, a lot of flounder talk. But I am not a believer in Jordan Love. I haven't liked what I've seen. I've heard a lot of people saying that they'll be better with Jordan Love because Rodgers was bad, but I just don't believe it. I don't think LaFleur is that good of a coach. The roster is bad. I don't think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be a break for the Packers this year. I'd be stunned if Jordan Love is above average and the Packers are hovering around that 10-win mark. I will be really, really shocked here to see that for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks the Packers are finished.
Uh-huh.
Could he be just like Rodgers, waiting behind Favre, coming fresh out of the box?
Now, see, that's the unfair part. That's the unfortunate part, is that people, Packer fans, fans of just the NFL, whatever, they're used to this. They're used to Favre was awesome, then Rodgers was awesome. So they're used to Rodgers is awesome, Love will be awesome. And if they don't get that, it's going to be a big shock to the system. And it is unfair to just assume that Jordan Love is going to be the next Patrick Mahomes or the next Aaron Rodgers or the next Brett Favre or the next great quarterback. I don't think this sets up well for Jordan Love because think about how good he's going to have to be this year for people to feel like it's justified. One, he's going to have to be as good, if not better, than Aaron Rodgers is in New York. Right? If Rodgers is MVP level Rodgers and Jordan Love is just kind of an average to below average quarterback, that's not going to be good enough. And it's real hard to be average level of quarterback in this league. There's about 10 teams every year that would cut their arm off for an average quarterback.
And starting off fresh and kicking ass and taking names and being the happy Father's Day to the Bears fans that he said he really...
That's another thing Love has to do. He's got to start off hot. Love is not going to have the leash to be terrible for 7-8 games and then turn it on at the end of the year. He needs to start really good. If he throws 4 interceptions in the first game, they lose, and he's getting memed on, that could be enough to break a quarterback.
Really wasn't trying to be facetious about. Here we go. Jordan Love is the number one most overlooked
probably right.
make or break player in the NFL this year because the Packers can actually do something if this kid balls out. We're looking at Rodgers. We're focused on Rodgers. Understandably so. But what about back at the ranch? Jordan Love caps off my most overlooked make or break player top 5 list in the NFL this year.
Well done.
I like the list. I mean, the Colt McCoy thing was insane, but Howell, Love, BIJAN, they're all in spots where, and Stafford, I don't like that one either. But the other ones were, I think Love's a good one. I think he's a good pick for number 1 because of what he really means for the franchise. Because if he is bad, the Packers have a lot to do. The Packers are in a rebuilding phase. I mean, they are Jordan Love away from being in the Caleb Williams conversation, and he's make or break for Matt LaFleur too. If Love is bad, then the people are going to be looking at Matt LaFleur with a big time magnifying glass. So it's not just Jordan. His results will affect the entire trajectory of that franchise as far as what they do in the future with draft picks, who the coach is, who the quarterback is. I mean, it could be, now on the flip side, if he's really, really good, they could say, hey, we're set for another 8 years. We're set at quarterback. Let's just rebuild around him, and boom, we're right back to being Green Bay, right back in the playoffs. Interesting list. Rich pulled that together. So good list there. Let me know in the comments below what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Anything I said that was right, anything I said that was wrong. Who do you think is in a make or break season that was not on this list? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next video.